What's up, guys? Back again with an episode of Slay the Princess. We're continuing from just last episode, and it's kind of crazy so far. It's a very mind-inducing, confusing game. Let's just get straight into it. You're in a path in the woods, and at the end of the path is a cabin. In the basement of the cabin is a princess.
You're here to slay her.
If you don't know, it'll be the end of the world. Wait.
A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Wait, what? Voices are smitten?
Our beloved?
Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek.
What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to... Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
You were the one who did us in, villain.
Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake.
I beg to differ.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestation. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us,
He did.
And now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different... If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything?
She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some
Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone.
I'm going to find a way to save the princess from that cabin.
That's right, you can't stop all of us.
We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing.
Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. Just be quick about it. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're full...
Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this.
I don't know how I feel about
Call it a prophecy, if that helps. But it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know it. Of course you're special.
Calling us special isn't going to make us friends.
Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a professional,
And I'm not going
to let my dislike for you get in the way. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate and otherwise, not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but... Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with... A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little
You know what?
game.
This narrator brings
It's
a
your
hard
lies
bargain.
that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The blade is your implement. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing. There's definitely there isn't.
I'm sure the princess would tell us there was a mirror if she were...
In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror. Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless?
So wait,
what good would a mirror even do? That you waste time... Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to this.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by... So focus up. Stop letting your... You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall.
This really isn't funny.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how... But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
You take the blade from the table. It will be different.
I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That way she'll know we can...
Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge, and hopefully it doesn't get turned on us. There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do...
I'm like contradicted in these two people. One sounds like a
The
simp,
door to the basement
but
creaks open.
the other one, this
revealing
narrator,
a
it feels like
intricate
he's actually looking
stairwell.
out for me. But maybe he's just
Gold-trimmed
feeding me
carpet
that, yeah?
glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, a soft voice carries...
Hello? Is someone there?
We've been here. It's just no. Ugh, so freaking
Her voice.
icky.
It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far.
Okay.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and...
You know she can't hear you.
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely...
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two. Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence.
You've
Been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just...
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
No.
Did we?
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to...
Do I have to cut you again? I really didn't care for that last time.
You died.
What happened after I
and
died?
now we're talking.
What? Did you end the world?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is,
Not
I'm
so
not
sure.
I'm so sorry about what happened last time. The narrators who sent me to kill you but took over my body was extremely unfair.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
Do I have to cut you out again? I really didn't care for that last time.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
I don't want to do that.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted.
I'm gonna try rescuing her again. I probably am gonna regret this. The narrator seems perfectly good, but I just cannot not do this.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another...
You'll what? Take over our body and
Yes.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it.
But
I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. Are you sure you want to do this? Just one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade is buried in her back, and everyone out there is saved.
Is that a threat? You know what we'll do if you try it.
You're going to regret this.
Am I? I probably am.
what do we do now?
What do you want to do? We leave and then we have the whole lives to figure out what we want to do next.
Let me guess. End the world. Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never
Never
felt
felt
love
love
in
in
his
his heart.
heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before. I mean, you sort of did last time, but this is different.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave.
I
I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection, and then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I want you to tell me what you want. There must be something you want. Do you want to end the world? I just want to leave. We can figure out things later. There must be something you want to
I
do.
just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
I just want to make you happy.
Is she broken?
What's going
What's
on?
going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting
Did her
to
eyes
trust
get
me
bigger?
now?
But what will make you happy?
I just want to make you happy.
Oh god, what's happening?
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right. I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Oh god, what's happening? You have to want something more than just making me happy.
Okay, I'll find something else to want if that makes you happy.
I'll find some. Wait, what? Okay, I'll find something else to want if that makes
Is
sense.
it just me, or does it feel like we're alone right now? Like we're the only ones here?
Oh god. You don't get the chance to ask any other questions. Something has taken her away and it's left something else in her place.
No. She was our perfect match. She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. I can't believe she was taken away from us. The nerve.
Wait, what?
It is. Does that mean the world ended? A villain vanquished? There's something dreadful about it. Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and... I'm begging you, don't do...
I approach the mirror, gaze into my reflection. Silence as you reach forward, they're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. You are at the cabin.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? Thoughts without connections, a dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
What do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creek.
The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking? You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is
Nothing
vacant.
comes here but us. What? Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me
I
here?
have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn. She is part of me,
Oh, is this like one of her
and
voices?
part of me is.
But where are you always the princess? Are you making her part of yourself?
You speak in circles.
Does it matter where?
Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends? I know only that they. I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that you are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Alright guys, this ends this episode. I hope to see you next